Hello, and welcome back to Laying Down Lyrics at Lunchtime. So today's song is Skinny Love by Iver, and the lyrics are, who will love you, who will fight, who will fall far behind. So the reason I love these are the last lyrics in the song, and I think the whole song is pretty great overall, but these three questions in particular really pulled me in, and especially right at the end, right? Because sometimes when you listen to a song, it's you listen to the beginning part and your mind kind of thinks about other things, so you're not really focused on that song anymore. And these three questions just pull me back in immediately before the song ends with the music. So I think it's really great, and I think it kind of breaks up the song a little bit in an amazing way, especially again right at the end where you're kind of maybe necessarily not paying attention, but it's really great. So I really like that this part was kind of put in there, and it's only those three lines that come after that chorus. So I really like that. But I also love them because the questions, when I first listened to the song, probably for the first 6 months of knowing it, thought they were all the same person, right? Who will love you? Who will fight, right? So fight for you, to fight to love you. But then also who will fall far behind. And for some reason, I guess I kind of associated them as being the same thing. So who's gonna love you, who's gonna fight for you, and who's willing to fall behind in order to fight for you and to love you. So I kind of always assumed that they were talking about one person. And then at some point I was wait a minute, what if they're actually talking about two separate people, or even three separate people, right? Who's gonna love you? Who's gonna fight for you? So maybe those could still be the same the same one person, sorry. And then when you talk about maybe who will fall far behind, so this person will love you and fight for you, whereas this person is just gonna fall behind and they're not gonna be in your life anymore, or, they're not gonna really live up to this person who's loving you and fighting for you. It's just whatever, I'll just give up, or, something to that effect of not keeping up and falling behind, and far behind, not just behind, but far behind. So I really like that too. And then if you add a third person into the mix, so now you have someone who loves you, right? So who will love you, who will fight? And again, I guess fight could not necessarily be fight for, but you could just be talking about physically fight, I guess, or something like that. So that could be another person in and of itself, or it could be a person who will fight but not necessarily love you. Those could be two different things, right? Just because you fight for someone doesn't necessarily mean you love them, whether the person realizes it or not. They could just think that they love someone and be I love you, so I'm gonna fight for you, but then really they're not really in love with you, but they still wanted to fight for you because that's what they thought they were fighting for, right? And then have that, again, third person kind of fall behind, even if that person is fighting, right? So that's the other thing too, is you can now lump the first two questions together as one person. You can even lump the second two questions together as one person, right? Who will fight, who will fall far behind? So just because that person is fighting doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna win, right? So maybe this person is struggling and fighting, and because of that, they're not going to make it to where that person wants to be or needs to be at that time. So it's just a super interesting three questions. Are they three separate people? Who's gonna love you? Who's gonna fight? Who's gonna fall far behind? Or is it lumping these first two together as one person? Or is it lumping these last two together as one person? So I think they're really interesting lyrics. I think they're really well placed in the song. I think it's a really good time to put them in, right? It's at the end and you kind of are left with these questions, right? So the song is asking you these questions, and that's what you're left with is, okay, well, there isn't really a clear answer because all of the other answers that you could have gotten from the lyrics have already passed and they're already provided for you. So to end with the questions, I thought was really great. And then the questions themselves make you think about just people and, trying to figure out, well, okay, is this one person? Is it two people, or even three people? So yeah, I really like the song. I think it's a really great song, and definitely some interesting lyrics. So if you like it, if you think I'm crazy, feel free to comment below, subscribe, whatever. Oh, see, lunchtime is legitimately over, so I gotta run. But I will see you next time. Bye.